This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
La la la, la la la. Oh, hey, what's up? Wednesday. Sorry, just warming up my voice, getting the old pipes limbered up. Big show tonight. And let everybody start joining in. Welcome to Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. There we go. So glad you could make it. Just put my stuff away, getting going. Been a hell of a day. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff. So much life going on, and I'm going to talk about it tonight, and I need you to stay with me because it's going to build, and I don't want to hear about the get to the point. Every piece is a point of something. Maybe not to your liking. Maybe it's everything you want. I kind of like it. But either way, it's great to be here. How the hell is everybody? I want to start seeing some comments tonight. I might open up the phones, but I might just let them ride. If you start commenting, hey, I want to call you, I might say, okay, I'll take your call. I got a lot of stuff I want to show you tonight. There's so much stuff going on, so much craziness, and I'm going to try to decipher and pick some apart. Whether you like what I have to say or you don't, at least listen, okay? I'm not telling you what to believe, what not to believe. I say that all the time. I'm never, ever going to tell you that you need to believe this or you need to believe that. I just want you to keep it into your consideration because sometimes there's things you just don't know, no matter how much you believe in what you thought you believed in. I was there. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on, and that's what I got to say about that. Also, anybody who paid attention last week, where are we? I was supposed to have on tonight Miss Poppy Long. She was getting ready to celebrate, well, she is actually right now celebrating her 3rd-year anniversary of being sober. I had her on her 1st-year anniversary. And because alcoholism just about kills her. And what we got here, it's our first one tonight. Watching my ninja. That's right. Good job. Good job. Keep up the good work. Stay blessed, my ninja. So she was supposed to be on the show tonight, and she called me, and because she's, believe it or not, because she's celebrating her 3rd year of sobriety, she's on a trip, and she's going to some bridge and jumping off it, bungee cording, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't care how happy I am. At this point in my life, I've been taking enough leaps of faith my whole life. I don't need to attach myself to a bungee cord and jump off a bridge, but to each their own. I'm good. But again, my whole life, every day when I get up, is jumping, taking that leap of faith. And here we are. Peter G Show. So she's supposed to be on, and she's not. We pushed her. I said, look, whatever, I'll switch it around because I love you. And I believe that people need to hear, things about sobriety and things like that because it's important. I've known many people who've had and are having a hard time with alcohol. It'll destroy you. Destroys you, your families, your life, everything. So she will be on Wednesday, October 8th. Miss Poppy Long is going to be on the show celebrating her 3rd year of sobriety, and she's going to come on the show and talk about it because we had her on her 1st year and, how she survived because she just about died from alcoholism and her life was getting back on track, and she was great. But she claims now that her life is even better than it ever was 3 years down the road, 2 years since we had her on the show. So join me next week, Wednesday, October 8th, Miss Poppy Long, as we dive into what's going on with her and how she's holding up with her sobriety and what has it done for her and the pros and cons about everything in life. All right? Relatable stuff. Wednesday, October 8th. Be here. And also, again, don't forget, I'm very thankful for all the people that are, all the newbies that are on Facebook, that are liking and following. Thank you, thank you, thank you. YouTube, same thing. Come on, let's keep up the momentum. YouTube, I definitely need, because they give me a hard time. And I'll talk about that later on tonight too, on how they throttle and censor certain people and something, take shows off the air. They've definitely done that to me over a dozen times. Suspend you, punish you, you name it. And I appreciate the ones that are subscribing onto YouTube to try to keep that going, because I believe we're going to eventually overcome that. So thank you for those who subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for the ones on Facebook. Facebook's going to be killer. I mean, we're killing it over there. Millions of views, millions. But I want to keep the subscriber numbers up, because I know that there's tons of people that watch that don't hit the follow or like button, whatever it is. It's a like or a follow button. It's not a subscribe button. But the same thing on YouTube. But I'm also guilty of that stuff too. I watch a lot of things repeatedly, the same people, and have not subscribed to them. And shame on me, and I'm getting better at that. So help a brother out. But thank you. Don't think I don't appreciate it. I watch, I see, I get told. We're up to a 250,000 viewers combined from the audio podcasts and the multi-stream lives and the pre-record uploads and all that kind of stuff. So thank you. Let's keep going. A lot of years and a lot of hard work's gone into it, and there are people that appreciate it, but I always seem to find the one or two that are pissed off at me. It's just the way it is. We always find the flaws, but I digress. What else is going on? Also, probably long. Oh, let's do a little bit, because we got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. We do. Don't forget, if you do want to call in tonight, you can comment if you're on YouTube Live, or if you're on the Facebook Official Peter G Show Live, or even LinkedIn, the Official Peter G Show Live. You can comment, and I can see them now. You say, hey, Peter, I want to call in. I want to talk about Bill Gates. I want to talk about Charlie Kirk. I want to talk about the Super Bowl, whatever. All the stuff that's going on, all this crazy shit. And I'll open up the phone for you, I think. A lot of stuff to show you, though. Controversy, the gaslighting. I'm just so tired of it. It's just crazy. The sky is falling. The fucking sky is falling. Oops, I just swore already, and it's only how many minutes into the show? I'm 8 minutes, 54 seconds into the show. My first F-bomb. But don't worry, there's more to come. I want to talk a little bit of entertainment news. So just stuff, just controversy. Everybody's up in roars. They heard that Bad Bunny is going to do the halftime show at the Super Bowl. I just think that they're really trying to see how far they can push it. Now, again, it's not going to change your life. It really isn't. But some people watch the Super Bowl more for halftime shows than they do and the commercials more than they do football. Because I know I'm not a huge football fan. I mean, I watch playoffs on sports. I'm just not a big sports guy. But there's some girls that I've known that are, really attractive women that are sports chicks, big time. I can never date that girl, because I'm the guy to be, doing something else while she's swearing at the TV watching a college football game or something. I don't know. I don't know if they could put up with that, because I don't want to. It just doesn't do nothing for me. But I can watch playoffs. And in a crowd, I mean, I'll hang, but I don't cancel my plans because the game is on. All the games. I feel like life is the game that I'm on, and it's, so I can't cancel that. I'm up every day playing in it. But the NFL, people all of a sudden, Bad Bunny. Now, I totally get it. Last year, they were pushing it with sending a message, and it's with what's his face. And here's the problem. Jay-Z is in charge. His company, I can't remember what it's called, Rock something. His company is in charge of getting the halftime show together for the Super Bowl. It's like He doesn't have enough money. He's got his hands in all that. It's like, yeah, our company's going to be. So where do you think? What do you figure? You know, somebody said, they need to bring like the Eagles on. It's like old school stuff, and I get it. Old school stuff, I truly do. I mean, a lot of people, the older people have not older. I mean, like 90s, but not in their 20s. They're the ones who have the money to spend money on the games and for all the stuff. And so, halftime shows were something to look forward to. They really were. But they've changed through the years. And again, my father used to listen to big bands, music and all that, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, Harry James and all that. And I was like, yeah, that's good. But, we were into rock and roll. So I understand that. But Bad Bunny's like top of the edge of controversial. It's like, does it have to constantly be controversial? Can we not just have some damn good entertainment? Because, again, he's not really a band. Another singer that's going to lip sync it. Now, I understand playing to a pre-recorded music at the Super Bowl, it's a lot safer of a move. When you're moving that much equipment onto a stage in the matter of minutes, or rolling the whole stage onto a field in that little commercial break time, I think they get like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. That's an incredible feat. And then you're plugging in all these multi-pin cables and praying to God that everything works. One little wire could take down so many things. Believe me, I'm dealing with it right now over here. And you're live. That's the biggest thing. You're live. It's like you got to do it. So a lot of these bands they may be playing and they may be kind of playing, but they're faking it because it's safer from somewhere else in a mobile truck to use a pre-record where they're mixing everything and play it safer for the sake of nothing going wrong. But either way, at least they're, Aerosmiths and Prince and all these kind of bands, they're still kick-ass bands. Bad Bunny's Bad Bunny. He's one guy, and he's going to do as crazy to get everybody up in an uproar, and that's the way it's going to work. It's like, I don't know. That seems to be the thing nowadays. Just how many people can you really, twist, get their panties all up in a wad, complaining about it? So anyway, take it or leave it. I guess that's what they're going to do. We don't have to watch it. That's for sure. Kind of sucks, though. I mean, I don't know why they just can't be reasonable. But and it's going to be in Spanish too. He doesn't sing English. He's huge though. He's huge. I've seen him many times on TV appearances and things like that. But he's pushing the limits. He wears a lot of women's clothes, and I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But he's rich as hell, and he's super big, but just not to some of us. So anyway, everybody take a pill. There's always going to be something. By tomorrow, there'll be something new to bitch about. That's for sure. How we doing? Oh, one more thing. Ice Cube. Anybody remember Ice Cube? I loved his movie Fridays, the Friday after next and next Friday. I mean, he was Ice Cube, I guess, is on tour or something like that. And he had a tour bus that said, sometimes a lot of these tour buses, they'll wrap them. Like a lot of people travel incognito, but sometimes some tours, they'll wrap the tour buses to advertise while they're rolling down the road. And it said Ice Cube, and then something, it had something to do with Ice Cube, major trouble or this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, they were in Portland, Oregon, not too long ago, a few days ago. And somebody tried to firebomb, or they set the back tires on fire, some kind of shit like that on the bus. Because apparently, and again, Portland to me there's a lot of great people everywhere, but there's a lot of really messed up people in the upper Northwest. They're just lost. Seattle, Portland, they just... The trend up there is the weirder you can be, the cooler you are to themselves. Not to the rest of the world, but to themselves. The weirder you are, the cooler you are. And it just... amongst their little group, it all works, but it doesn't work for any place else. But anyway, the place has been a muck ever since the riots and for years now. The cities won't get their shit together. Somebody set it on fire, and apparently more ruckus. Apparently they can't read in Oregon because somebody thought it was like an ICE, the federal ICE. It was a bus having to do with, like, picking up illegal immigrants and stuff like that. So they tried to destroy the bus when it was Ice Cube's tour bus. Gotta have it up here, folks. You gotta have it up here. But that's what you get when you live in a sea of retarded sexuality and you're just delusional. Not all. It's pretty messed up there. Anyway, just I wanted to bring those two little tidbits to your no comments, huh? Okay, well, that's all right. I just later on, again, if you were going to want the phone, you can tell me, but if not, I'm good, because I got tons of stuff to talk about. But there's messages. I might start playing some messages on the phone. Man, oh man, the Bill Gates, it's killing me, which I'm really glad about. People are so upset with Bill Gates, which rightfully so. He needs to be stopped with everything. He's got his hands into so many things you don't even know. Never mind the chemicals, the chemtrails, the fruit sprays, the depopulation, the vaccines, the meats, everything. He's also got his hands in so many different things because he's that friggin' rich. That's why he's so hard to stop. But if we, the people, enough people, raise enough hell, we're just, it's just like somebody's digging into somebody. It vibrates, and it will. People going, there's nothing you can do. He's too rich. It's like bullshit. Eventually, if we stand up all together and start screaming, we don't even have to get violent or anything like that. But then somebody will step in and go like, Nerd Bill, you need to it's time to step down. It's time to step down because the natives are getting restless because you're trying to kill them. So they don't really like that. They don't want shit put in their fruits and vegetables, vaccine injected lettuce. They don't want fake butter, fake meat, chemtrails. They don't want it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that down the road, but I'm telling you, the comments, it's just, they keep on coming. Everybody, more people know than I ever thought they would. But the problem is we need to keep speaking loudly, okay? We need to stand and speak loudly and not just say something and then go back to your business. You need to keep the momentum going, okay? We'll talk about that in a little while too. But that's what's going on. And what's I got? It was a rush today. We're still having issues. I'm still driving the small studio operational vehicle tonight. Was on it until wee hours of the morning this morning and still can't figure out a few things, what's going on. Technology. But we're here. We're still here. So I was writing things last second. I go, I need to talk about this. I need to talk about that. All right, but lots of things we're going to get to. That's for sure. I want you to stick with me because it's going to build. And there's stuff that I really think that you'll be interested to know. Whether you agree with it or not, it's another story. But we're going to be talking about this stuff, and you need to just hang in there and take it all in, all right? But first, we need to hear from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver, because it makes sense to save money, that's for sure. We'll be right back.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024. And we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you.
The Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine Program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products. All I can say is in 2 words, it works. And it does. Use it myself. Would have never believed it. I mean, there's a million products on the shelf, and they all do a little bit of something, but this stuff, you notice the difference. I give you an example. This little bitty bottle right here services a average 4-door sedan. You pour one of these in a clean oil change. It will last the entire oil change, which on most cars is about 5,000 miles. And then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bitty bottles. You put it into the gas tank, fill it up with fuel, and drive. It can't be any more easier than that. Now, I drive a bigger vehicle, so for a V8, SUVs, pickups, Bentleys, Mercedes, whatever. Well, they don't even make Mercedes as much anymore with V8s, unless you got an AMG. But the bottle's a little bit bigger, but it's the same process, same deal. And I'm telling you, it made a big difference. But don't believe me, all right? What I want you to do is, oops, that's not the one I want you to do. I want you to go to www.cleanstarproducts. Look at their website. They got tons of information on there, but most of all, there's a number on their website, and I even have the number down there. 310-200-8931. Call them. They'll answer all your questions personally because they have a product they believe in and they know it works. Pretty simple when you're confident, when you know what you're talking about. After talking to them, should you decide to order, tell them that you saw it on the Peter G Show. That's a really big deal. And why? Number one, if you call them and tell them that you saw it on the Peter G Show and you want to order, they will send you, because you saw it on the Peter G Show, 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right, folks. 5 bottles for the price of 4. And it's a great starter kit because if you'll put one in the clean oil change, last the whole oil change, and then every time you fill up your tank, that's 4 tankfuls, put one of those bottles in. I'm telling you, by that point, you're going to notice the difference. And then for good maintenance, you can either put it in every tank full or every other tank, once a month, something. Good food, good body. That's the only way I can explain it. If you eat right, you stay healthier. Same thing for your car. And cars are expensive. Repairs are expensive. This stuff gives your car more lubricity in the engine. The emission system's cleaner. It ups the horsepower by cleaning everything out of the way. It doesn't have to work as hard. It just makes total sense. Give them a call. Tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show, and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. I mean, a deal's a deal, all right? Cool. I'm telling you, everybody's skeptical, and there's lots of snake oils and this and that all over the place, but it made a believer out of me. And it's real simple to use. It couldn't be any easier. You don't have to be mechanically inclined. Nothing. Okay, let's change gears here. But first, start the show. Thank you. Everybody being here, whether you're watching live or anytime down the road, tomorrow, years from now. I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Share. All right? It's a big deal because I have some issues. Some of these platforms have issues with me in censorship. They don't like the truth, and I'm not going to stop. So love you guys. Here we go. Salute. Ooh, smooth. Isn't that right?
Smooth.
Can't say it any better than that. Smooth. Woo. All right. So let's get going here. We'll start off with the here and now, because here's the problem. It's a weekly show. So by tomorrow, something else has occurred. And then the next day, something else occurred. And I can't get to you guys until next Wednesday. But this is going on right now, and I want to talk about it because there's so many misconceptions because, unfortunately, our government is split in half, which it's always going to be like that. And the lies, they don't care anymore what they say. It's all about power. It's just believe us, believe in our team, and then don't pay attention to what we do. And the government, I guess, shut down. Did they shut down today? Supposedly because the Democrats would not vote to continue what we've been having over the past 6 months or whatever it is, 3 months, 6 months. There's no changes. All they wanted to do was continue for another 3 more months for whatever the reason is while they work on some other stuff. And the Democrats weren't having it. They said, no, we need more money. And the Republicans said, no, fuck no more money. And then all of a sudden the Democrats started saying that, and that's going to affect your health care, the people, and Medicare, and all that kind of stuff. Again, the lies just start coming out. And we need to decipher this stuff, because I'm tired of I'm watching on Facebook people I love already. The minute they hear it from their team, the sky is falling. They're on Facebook, and they're, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. And some of us, we need this. And the Orange Man, he put tariffs on the drug makers in Europe, and we blah blah blah. What's the motto for the year on the Peter G Show? Lovingly shut the fuck up. Stop it. I love. Sometimes you got to have somebody that that loves you to like shake you up and say, stop it. Nothing has happened. And until something happens, then complain. But complaining about something that hasn't even happened yet due to somebody fear-mongering, and it really works, see it every day. I'm tired of everyday people screaming, the sky is falling. It's not. I remember when we bombed the nuclear facilities in Iran, and everybody's like, here comes World War III. I'm waiting. See what I mean? It's because they want you to be all freaked out and running, crazy, and keep all this disruption up. Don't you get it yet? So here's Jay. Let's talk about, again, this government shutdown, and you said this and you did this and it's your fault and people aren't going to have health care. Shut the fuck up. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. I promise you. And if it does, you can come on this show and you can bitch me out personally. I'll take it. Here, let's start with J.D. Vance, just kind of giving you the rundown real quick, all right? Here you go.
We have to realize the Democrats, their whole argument is we are going to shut down the government unless you give $1 trillion for medical benefits for illegal aliens. The major healthcare reform that we've done in this administration is we've made it harder to give your hard-earned tax dollars to medical benefits for illegal aliens. The Democrats want to undo that. And they're saying that unless you give that money to those illegal aliens, unless you give those benefits to those illegal aliens, we are going to shut down the people's government. It's such a stark contrast between two parties' priorities. We want to put the government to work for the American people first. The Democrats want to shut down the government because we won't give free benefits to illegal aliens. It's such a good, again, contrast for what the Democrats stand for and what Republicans stand for. We're not going to be taken hostage by the Democrats' desperate desire to give your tax money to illegal aliens. We're just not going to do it.
Okay, now a lot of you are going to go, he's full of shit. He's full of shit. But that's what they want to do, because they've been doing it, and now they're not going to have the money to do it. And what do we do with all these people that they let into the country so that they can become Democratic voters, because they're going to be so grateful because of what the Democrats did for them? And why do they need so many new voters? Because so many people that are American citizens have caught on to the bullshit. I was a Democrat. I don't want to be a Democrat or Republican, but the common sense told me that I can no longer do that. I can't do it no more. OAC and all these friggin' ass hats. I can't. It's just, I can't believe in that crap. I just don't. I was born early in the morning, but not yesterday morning. And this is what's going on. And again, thank God for videotape. Thank God for videotape, because the party that says that, that they need to take care of everybody shows you what liars they are, because we're going to show you some stuff that's going to prove them of what they were crying, what they were standing behind only, a decade ago or more. Here we go. Kramer. I love this guy. He's in your face, brings the facts. Here you go.
What do you say we play a game of he said, she said? 30 years ago, she said this.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens.
And so everyone in class understands, Hillary, please explain why we don't want to give free health care to illegal aliens from around the planet.
We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country.
And at the same time, he said this.
This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
That was from 30 years ago. You know, back when Democrats actually made the attempt to make it look like they were working for you. But they're not. No, they're working for a group of people who want free health care for illegals. And to get that done, they're willing to shut down the government, make sure that you don't get your benefits, you don't get your check, but Juan, Paco, and Miguel, at some point in the future, they're going to get a check. That's who the Democrats are working for. And they're going to try and paint it every which way that they can. But at the end of the day, they're shutting down the government to get free health care for illegal aliens. There's no other way to spin it. That's what they want.
And that's the truth. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's the truth. And again, I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm just bringing some things to some people's attentions that may not be thinking of it like that. Are they traitors? I think they are. They're more concerned about the new people coming in because they've lost the old people. So they're going to lose their power. They don't care about us. They care about staying in office, filling their pockets up full of money. They say they care about us, but I don't believe them. Here's Kramer one more time. I love this guy. He just gets it done. But that's the one. Yeah, Kramer 122. Yeah, there we go. Here, traitors. Telling you, they don't care about us. I don't care what. Believe me, there's a lot of people on the Republican side that got to go too. That's why the term drain the swamp, it goes both ways. Drain the swamp. It is so needs to be over. Sick of it. Here you go.
The government's being shut down, and you, as an American citizen, won't be getting your services because Democrats want free health care for illegal aliens. It shouldn't come as any surprise because they've been advocating for it for a while. Here, take a look.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
So you got to ask yourself, why are Democrats so eager to go out and advocate for people who can't even vote for them? What's the benefit for them? How does it benefit you? Well, it doesn't benefit you. When you give free health care or free anything to everyone else on the planet because that's what they're advocating for, it's not just the people that are here. It's for anybody who would ever come here illegally. That's what they're advocating for. So basically, the entire planet is who these people are working for, and the constituents, the people they're supposed to be working for, they're actually working against. So let me ask you again. How does it benefit you or me or anybody else that are citizens of this nation for non-citizens to be giving preferential treatment over us? How does that benefit us?
A few moments later.
I am sorry about that. I tend to get a little worked up when I realize that there are traitors amongst us and they're selling our nation out from underneath us. You realize they're traitors, right?
So just a quick recap. We work. A lot of people struggle and work. And then we pay all those bills and you get no benefit of it whatsoever. All that money that could be helping you or our country in general. But no, you're working, you're paying taxes. Even if I don't care if you're working, making $400 a week. If you're working at Walmart, they're taking taxes out. And where's that money going? It's not going to help you. It's not going to help your friend who's struggling with disability or something like that. No, they're giving it all to them, paying the rent because they need them. Come on in. Remember Joe Biden? We love Joe Biden. That's all they taught them. Just thank Joe Biden. And so that stuff is still carrying on now. We're fixing the damage from this, but it's going to be Not going to be an easy thing. You don't take 18 to 20 million people into the country and overnight, it's going to straighten this problem out. But I'm just trying to give you all a reality check, whether you want to believe it or not. That's what's happening. You get no benefit of it. That's the money that you'll never see. Could be in your pocket. Speaking of which, I'm going to play you a little video from the 60s. I believe it's about the 60s. It's in black and white. About being Marxist, socialist, communist, but the ideology of how they developed the mindset on how to get people, how to brainwash people, how to get you involved to help them out. And this is, unfortunately, what has happened with the leftists. I mean, you judge for yourself, but it's pretty evident. And this is from the 60s. This is not some new made-up baloney. This was a tactic, just like the CIA uses in their psyops and everything we're living in nowadays. This is the root of how to twist people's minds and make them feel like they're doing something for a cause, and they're really worthless. I mean, once they get used up, they get tossed away. What was the term? Useful idiots. Check it out.
You see, the useful idiots, the leftists who are idealistically believing in the beauty of Soviet socialist or communist or whatever system, when they get disillusioned, they become the worst enemies. That's why my KGB instructors specifically made a point: never bother with leftists. Forget about these political prostitutes. Aim higher.
But to eliminate the others, to execute the others, don't they serve some purpose? Wouldn't they be the ones we rely on?
They serve purpose only at the stage of destabilization of a nation. For example, your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It's the same pattern everywhere. The moment they serve their purpose, all the useful idiots are either be executed entirely, all the idealistically minded Marxists, or exiled or put in prisons, like in Cuba. Many former Marxists are in Cuba. In prison.
You get it? They get so involved for the cause, which is what's going on. It's been going on, but never like this. Well, never in a very long time. They think they're doing the right thing, fighting for the right cause. And then by time they figure it out, they're done. Their presence is no longer needed. And then they get so mad because they thought, like, just like being, best friends and we're with somebody all the way through, and then all of a sudden life changes and then they're mad because, what do you mean? We've been through so much together. That's the way they feel about the whole party and standing up for all that stuff. And then they go, sucker. Watch that video again if you have the time. It makes a whole lot of sense. And again, this wasn't some new idea. This is from the 50s and 60s, probably even the 40s. I mean, they developed that a long time ago, but that's just somebody explaining it, how they get everybody worked up to fight for a cause that's really not even going to be useful for them because they're just being used as tools. Speaking of censorship, I bitch a lot about YouTube because they have taken down so many things. TikTok, it's going to get worse now before it gets better. I've gotten wiped out of TikTok. They took down 5,000 and something videos. They completely wiped out my whole channel. And now I signed on to it again, but I'm not going to put much effort into like I did because they're horrible. Their rules are just, and the bots, the AI picking out things. I mean, it's really bad. But years ago when COVID hit, we're talking about COVID. You want to talk about it because it's important. It was like, that was the biggest things in our lives. And then when you're finding out, they're putting all the fear into you and things were changing and they wanted you to be scared and they wanted everybody in their homes. And this old thing right here, whether you believe it or not, it didn't do nothing. Well, actually it did do something, but it wasn't doing the right purpose. And you can believe it or not, there's tons of information and little by little, it's all coming out. But regardless of that, I had so many shows. They suspended me. They took down shows because we were just innocently talking about it. I had doctors on the show and we were talking about the pros and cons. And there was a lot of cons more than pros for those who want to educate yourselves instead of watching what the TV and what old Fauci, Dr. Fauci says, follow the science. Science needs to be questioned. In other words, all he was saying was, trust me, believe what I'm telling you. And after a while, things weren't adding up. And a lot of people started not trusting, and they were correct in not trusting. Where's he at now? He's gone. They want his head. People all over the world. So I kept saying, and there was a lot of talk, and again, a lot of people who are blind, I don't blame you. They sold it to where you believed it, but a lot of talk about YouTube, Google being pressured, Facebook, that the government was telling them to start censoring certain things. And then what's his face from Facebook came out and said, yes, the Biden administration was putting pressure on us to censor certain topics and things like that. And now finally, Google has admitted that they were pressured and told to censor and take down information, misinformation about politics and medical. I don't get punished too much for the politic part, but the medical, they call it medical misinformation. Basically, it's AKA the truth that they don't want you to know. You should be able to say what you want to say and let people decide whether they want to believe it or not. It's not hurting anybody. It's just making you think. So-and-so says we need to get these and we need all the boosters. Another person says, let's take a look at what it does and if it's doing anything and if it's causing any harm. They won't let you do that part. They just say, listen, don't worry about it. Just go get it. Just go get it. Don't worry about it. Somebody else is saying, I think you need to pay a little more attention before you do something as drastic as that because it could be detrimental. A lot of people, unfortunately, it is. And it's happening now, years down the road, looking like some other cause. But again, that's for you to decide whether you want to believe that or not. I do. But I can't talk about it because I'll get taken down on certain platforms. And I'm just trying to stay relevant. But this guy right now is going to tell you about, don't believe me, this is fact. The Biden administration told them to censor free speech.
Wait, what happened? Where are all those left-wing Jimmy Kimmel First Amendment freedom fighters today now that YouTube has just told the entire world that the Biden administration pressured them into banning and censoring people for political speech? This is about as clear-cut of a First Amendment violation as you could possibly get. YouTube told the entire world senior White House officials under the Biden administration repeatedly reached out to their company urging them to ban people and censor people for what they had to say about COVID and elections. President Biden created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. Liberals were in a hysteric fit for a week over Jimmy Kimmel being suspended for like 5 days or something, but they'll be oddly silent about this.
Censorship. The government censoring what you want to talk about. Information that concerns you, that has to do with you, about your body, your health, your way of living. And they said, you need to take all that stuff out. We don't want them knowing that. I mean, think about it. How good does that make you feel? It was wrong. It was wrong. And there's so much stuff. And this is why I don't blame people. And I'm never going to get mad at you. Even the ones that yell at me and tell me I'm full of shit and all that. It's like, okay. It's okay. Most of them. Every once in a while. I mean, there's a lot of trolls too. And you get these people that they get paid to sit there and try to knock the truth down, which blows my mind. I'm not that much of a, I could never be a whore like that. I couldn't do it. Just, how much money are you going to pay me? I'll say whatever you want me to say. Never, ever, ever. That's MSNBC. That's Morning Joe. That's, whatever the hell her name is. The hell's her name? Freaking hate her. I don't hate. When I say hate, I mean, just whores. What's her name? Oh, Rachel Maddow, that dude. That's right. And this one. They don't learn. They don't learn. They'll do anything for money, I guess is what I'm saying, is they don't need to learn. They can get away with it. They got somebody paying them enough money to say how they sleep at night's beyond me. That's the part I think that bothers me more than anything. I'm going to jump over to Charlie Kirk again, because again, freedom of speech, no matter what you say, if it's not hurting anybody, I mean, it's not really, you're not physically harming anybody, especially that guy. It took me a while. I'd stumble into his radio show once in a while, and I didn't like him that much on the radio, but his college campus stuff, I mean, I got to hand it to him. I said it last week. He was smart. He can pull anything out of his head and recite it, verses from the Bible. I mean, just things like that. It's like, wow, I couldn't do that. Couldn't do it. But to assassinate somebody because you don't like what they say, that's a whole different level. That's a whole different level. So on top of that, this is what's really blown my mind. Once again, this is another another JFK, another Martin Luther King. They've settled on a story on who assassinated him and how he got assassinated. Now I'm going to play you the first story because, again, I question everything, and I don't buy the news. Even if I don't care if you like Fox or hate Fox or MSNBC, I don't trust them all, any of them. I favor one more than the other, but I still question because they're all owned by people that have their hands in every piece of those news agencies. Pharmaceutical companies all own them. BlackRock, and there's a narrative. And again, once you finally figure it out, you learn. It's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to look into it. And now with modern day technology and all that, oh look, we actually have a. I'll be damned. I'm not going to buy stars to comment on opinion. Well, that's true. But, I mean, look, I'll tell you one thing. I totally get it, because if I was an actor or a big musician or anything like that anymore, or just, somebody who you're in the forefront, you're better off just like, okay, you got enough money, you make a lot of money, stay out of that part. But I am no longer in that part, nor was I in everybody's living room to where anybody cared. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be bigger than some, but not as big as others. But now I'm here, and now it's, so this is what I do. I bring things up for you to say, I never thought of it that way, or screw Peter, I'm going to stick to my, what I was being fed. I'm just bringing you thought, food for thought. But it's ridiculous, and the story that they put with Charlie Kirk and how he got killed, it just doesn't make sense. With all the media out there, everybody's got cell phones, and then all of a sudden they put together this story that, and then most people's like, well, that's what they said. The kid shot him from way over there, and then he disassembled the gun, he ran down and reassembled it and put it away. It's like, come on, stop, really? And then he texted his wannabe boy girlfriend and girl boyfriend, whatever, and he wrote all this stuff, and that's it. Case wrapped up. That's it. We're good. That's how he died. I'm still calling bullshit. There's too much stuff. So here's the thing. Here's the original story, kinda, sorta. And listen to this, and then I'm going to play you another theory. And there's about 2 or 3 theories, but the thing is, again, they're trying to push something that's so cheesy. That's what I'm saying. It's like, of all of the stories you could come up with, this is what you got? It doesn't work. I mean, it works for the people who aren't paying attention. But this was murder. Here, check this out. This is the this is what they want you to believe right now, and a lot of people are. They're going, well, what else are we going to believe? Well, I'm going to bring something to your attention. Here, check this out first.
Charlie Kirk's shooter. I didn't want to make this video, but I have to now. Too many comments. Watch him come off this roof. You do not see a long weapon there, right? Watch him come down. It's a hoodie or some type of bag. You see it right there. You see it fall limp. He drops down. Watch him run away and watch the hoodie bend. There. Watch very closely. He comes down. You do not see a long rifle. It's a Mauser, for God's sakes, right? Watch it. That was a hoodie. Watch it when he hits the ground. Watch this hoodie. You see him pick it up. There it bends. Right there. Go watch it with your own eyes. And maybe I'm a little confused, right? Let me run this by you and you tell me if this is accurate. So he gets up into the sniper's nest. He gets into position, in the prone position. He takes his shot. He hits his target. Then he disassembles his rifle, places it into the bag, secures the bag. He stands up. He runs across the roof, and then he descends off the corner of the building with the bag in his hand. And then he runs away with this bag with said rifle disassembled in this bag. Then he exits to a wooded area, and then he reassembles the rifle again. Then he wraps it in the towel, and then they find it. I see. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Here from the DOJ's website. Look at this. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model Mauser 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped up in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. Okay.
I just tracked down the internal documents from Utah Valley University that shows the exact type of security cameras that were used, and we got a lot of questions. You're going to want to see this. This is their own internal document showing us the roof access point and exactly how the cameras were mounted at the university.
Ryan Matta Media, buddy of mine, right? He goes into the internal documents and he says that they have 1,500 to 2,500 cameras, 1080p HD, based on their own internal memos. And hey, this is what we're doing to improve the university's security. We've got a photo of him coming off that roof. Where's the photo of him going on the roof? I want to see that. Let's see that. Let's see that video. Let's see how he got up there. Let's see it all, right? I mean, they got 1,500, 2,500 cameras on this campus. Let's see it all. Don't worry. It's all in HD. We'll be able to see it all soon, right?
See, make some sense? I mean, he's kind of got a point. One more. Ooh. Make some sense? I mean, these are things that maybe when you're watching the news, you don't think about this stuff because they go, here, this is it. Just take it in and go, oh, wow. Until you get somebody like that to go, hey, look at this. What do you think? It's too simple. Doesn't make sense. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. But what are we going to do about it? Well, there's nothing. Well, there is. I mean, a lot of people aren't letting this go. This isn't going to go away too easily. You know, this just isn't. Because this is our world, people. This is the world we're living in. This is in the United States. Not even in a third world country or something like that where you go, well, there's no, you know, they get away with everything over there. Well, they're getting away with everything over here too. Sad. So I showed you the narrative that they want you to believe. Now I want to show you a different take on it, which we'll talk about after I show you. And this is what, you know, one of the main theories. This is probably one of the closest ones to me because I've heard so many different. I heard a good handful of different things, but this one to me personally makes the most sense. You don't have to believe it. It's just out there. I'm putting it for your consideration. And also, I'm sure I'm going to get somebody to say, the picture's so small, I can't even see it. Well, look, I'm sorry. Everybody records on 9:16 nowadays instead of 16:9. And if you're going, what the hell is that? You're looking at the Peter G Show, right? Most of the time, it's rectangular. A lot of people are recording nowadays, so you can be on your cell phone. So they're recording vertical, and it's like this as opposed to like this. And I can't change it. You can make things smaller, but you can't take smaller and make it bigger. So please don't bitch at me like I don't realize I wish it was bigger. Because there's some things that like are hard to see, and you need to see this stuff. Go look it up. It's all over YouTube. I mean, just find it. But I'm bringing it to your attention because I think this is super important. So this is a guy, what's his name? He's got a talk show, I guess. I think it's on Rumble. I'm not really sure. But I stumbled across it, and I wanted to point it out because he brings a valid issue here. Stu Peters. His name is Stu Peters. The Stu Peters Live, I guess, is his show. So check this out. This is an eye-opener, and I think very, very doable because sneaky is sneaky. Well organized. Here you go.
Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers, now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing. Remember the palm gun guy in the brown shirt, that shadowy looking guy with the sunglasses? Yeah, he pushes the detonator. Clear as day.
Counting gang violence. Great.
That's the assassin. That's the guy that pushes the detonator, which perfectly aligns with the explosion that pushes that projectile through Charlie's right side of his neck and out the left side, creating the exit wound. That might just look like the chaos that you would expect after someone was publicly executed in broad daylight in front of 3,000 people. But in no way did that trigger man, that assassin in the brown shirt with the sunglasses, act alone. We have video now from Destiny that shows the handoff of this remote detonator. We had John Cullen on the program last week, and he made a great point about ballistic acoustics being altered to hide the location of the real shooter. Well, the same can be said to distract from the fact that there was no shooter. Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. This guy, brown shirt guy, he's the assassin.
I'm sorry I have to play this kind of stuff. I'm not doing it to confuse things. But I always noticed the way that shirt went from here and puffed up and went that way. And then had it not been, do you remember a year ago or so, the Israelis killed a bunch of Palestinian people through pagers that took them years to like infiltrate, start a business making, and then they put explosives in cell phones and pagers that were sold to the Palestinian or Hamas. It was Hamas. That's right. When they all, they bought a ton of these to give to, to their people, Hamas. So they're all on the, got all their own communication devices. And they took them years to make a company and then make it, and then somebody to get on the inside and buy them for Hamas. And they were loaded with explosives. They killed a whole bunch of people through pagers and cell phones. Who would have thought of that shit? And then all of a sudden, he's wearing, nowadays the microphones, the stuff is so different now. Now you got the wireless plugs into your iPhone so you can, wirelessly Bluetooth record, and they're magnetic. You just take the little square, you put it on your shirt, put the magnet underneath, and that's basically what it was. A microphone. And they're saying that was the device. That was the device that sent a projectile into him. There's lots of unanswered questions. And I'm just saying, tape don't lie. There's a lot of stuff going on that's really weird. Now, again, I'm sorry. Do not scream at me because it's hard to see. Go get your phone and look at it up close. If you're watching from a big TV or something, it's kind of hard. Or go find the videos yourself, and then you can find it and possibly find a better version of it. I was lucky to get that version, and I'm doing this so you'll see that things are not the way they seem. A lot of fishy stuff. That's all I can tell you, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Food for thought. Food for thought. Epstein. So many people want to believe that the Orange Man, our president, had done bad things with Epstein because they got pictures that have gone around from the 90s that show them around young women, and they're taking pictures together and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. Coming from entertainment, to this day still, you take pictures with everybody. Half the time you're crossing paths, it's let's get a picture. Come on, think about it. Facebook, anything. Everybody. You go look at it. Everybody gets a picture with everybody. Now, back then, it wasn't as much as it is now, or as easily brought out, but Trump took pictures with Epstein. They were acquaintances for several years because they were all billionaires. They all went to the same events. They were all showing up at the same places because there was the place for billionaires to show up, it being invited. But then years later, Trump caught on and didn't like Epstein's doings, and eventually, unfriended him, like Facebook. He unfriended him. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. No more. But did they hang out or in places where they're? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But my point being is that there's so many people that are hell-bent that he was raping young girls and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, people, the Democrats had possession of all this information for 4 years. They did not want him to run for president again. If he's that damn guilty, why didn't they just release that evidence? They did everything else to him. They trumped up charges. I hate using the word trumped up because it's his last name, but fake charges on real estate, everything. He was accused of rape in a department store. It's like he's a friggin' billionaire and he's going to rape some woman in a department store. You got to be out of your mind. He can have anybody he wants because he could buy his way in. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. But the fact is, if he's that damn guilty, and they were so desperate, they tried everything to put him in jail so he wouldn't run. Right? Why? The one thing, how bad would that have looked if they could show the evidence that Trump had something to do with young girls and raping young girls on the plane, on the island, blah, blah, blah. You know why? Because he didn't. They have no proof like that. Did they associate with each other years ago? Yes, they did, amongst with many other people. Did he disassociate himself from him many years after? Yes, he did. This is long before he was ever going to, this was in 1994, 95, something like that. He said, no more. I don't like you. I thought, you don't know a lot about somebody until you spend more time with somebody. I'm going to play you a video about an investigator who investigates the investigators. Does that make sense? He watches, it's like police policing the police. This is a pretty lengthy video, but it's, to me, pretty informative. And either you're going to buy it, you're going to take what it says and say, well, this is, they want to talk. They want to keep everybody hating the guy. So they just keep on, lies, lies, lies. Can't prove it. This is the investigator. I want you to pay attention. Again, for some, no matter what I show you, no matter what I say, you hate the man. They've trained you to hate the man. You don't like his attitude. That's one thing. I just think that we got a boss now, and we needed one. Drain the swamp. Out with all the crooks. And if you think he's a crook too, look, they all have something that they got to, do and bend, but I think we got one of the better ones, and you can disagree with me all you want. That's fine. I'm in. Because no matter what you say or do, you're not changing the world. Neither am I, kind of. I'm just trying to bring a little more common sense to some. So check this out. This is an investigator that investigates the investigations. Take it all in and enjoy.
September 8th, 2025, a senior Justice Department investigator who personally worked on the Epstein case tells all. Glenn Prager, who has reviewed Epstein itineraries and has interviewed Epstein's victims, drops a bombshell. He says that the DOJ did not want to go after Epstein because he's a CIA asset, that the evidence from his investigation confirms that Bill Clinton was present for alleged rapes on the Lolita Express, and that President Trump was not present for the rapes that Glenn Prager investigated, but that he is protecting a lot of other people that were.
How about this whole Epstein thing that's like going on?
I worked on that case. I used to interview all the victims, and then my picture was 20 to 30 victims in Palm Beach that I was interviewing and dealing with and stuff like that. And then we would go ready to go to trial, and they would flip. Epstein would just pay them off, and they were just like these little kids. They pay off their family. They're all broke kids and poor families, and all. So you pay them off like anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000. Nothing in that guy's world.
Prager there describes how the victims that he interviewed were paid off by Epstein right before going to trial. Prager has worked as an investigator inside the Department of Justice for over 20 years. According to Prager's LinkedIn About page, it says that during the tenure at DOJ, Prager served as an inspector overseeing sensitive investigations involving major DOJ components, including the FBI, DEA, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's offices. This seems to corroborate what Prager told us. He was tasked with interviewing Epstein's rape victims and investigating flight logs. On his backpack in the airport, we spotted an embroidered FBI patch, which caught the attention of our citizen journalist.
I'll tell you this, because no, it's not talked about yet, but it'll soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He wasn't a CIA.
Although many have suspected it to be the case, this is the first time a Department of Justice official has confirmed that Epstein worked for the CIA and is a foreign asset.
So DOJ was settling a case, and they were just letting him, do house arrest, and they minimized his arrest. Part of that is because all the victims kept on flipping, and they didn't have anyone to go to trial with. The more importantly part is they didn't want to go after him. He's a asset for the United States and Israel for the CIA. I just know that's what he was, and that's why he was protected so long for this. And people turned a blind eye about all this garbage that he was doing in the United States. He had a lot of secrets with More about Israeli stuff than anything else. I mean, he was doing stuff for Israel and the United States. He was, he's working for both.
Glenn Prager, the Department of Justice investigator on the Epstein case, then talks about whether President Trump was involved. Many are trying to tie Trump to Epstein, but what Glenn Prager says is that Trump wasn't present during the inappropriate sexual behavior that he was investigating. But Prager does say that Bill Clinton was, backed up by his experience interviewing the victims and reviewing the Epstein Lolita Express itineraries. Quote, they killed the Epstein list to protect the Clintons.
But they claim that, that Trump's, involved in the rapes and all that stuff, and he wasn't. I mean, I've seen the agendas, I've seen the itineraries, and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. I remember that it was being killed because I know Clintons were on there. And
the Clintons were on there?
100%. And while the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred. And that's what I'm saying. Trump, although as many flights as there were and all that kind of stuff, and on the island and all that stuff, he was never there during a single alleged rape. But Clinton for sure. And that's where the big cover-up was.
The Department of Justice investigator inside the Trump Justice Department says that while Trump may not have been present during the crimes that Prager investigated, it is clear that Trump is, quote, protecting a lot of people.
I don't know what's new that I have never seen that he's so hesitant to now show what's going on, and releasing all those files and stuff like that. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
The citizen journalist boarded American Airlines Flight 1634 and landed in D.C. Monday at 8 o'clock at night and proceeded to go to dinner with this man, this DOJ investigator, at a restaurant called Blue Duck Tavern. Glenn Prager dislikes the fact Trump said the Epstein scandal is a hoax, but he also says, according to the evidence from his investigation, that Trump is not covering up for himself.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case is like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, it's not a hoax. He says a lot of stupid stuff. He's been on the plane, many times. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. People want to tie it to him and say he's covering up for himself, but he's not.
Now, this is a very good thing for President Trump and seemingly exonerates him from many people who claim that he was doing something inappropriate himself. This dinner went on for an hour and 45 minutes as this Department of Justice investigator revealed things to a stranger that the leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice has not.
So this woman meets this guy by accident. So the guy, being a guy, they go have dinner, like at the airport or wherever the hell they were, and she gets him to open up and talk about this stuff, and she's secretly recording him because she was a reporter. And he just, bragging rights or whatever, or telling the story that he can't tell to the Justice Department or whatever, or they're not willing to tell. Now, a lot of people might say, okay, if he's so innocent, why is he protecting people? I got a little theory on that, or I think many people do. I think he's just holding that card because, people want to Charlie Kirk him. Or at least, the other side does, because he's a, danger to their whole party. He's wiping out all the corruption. So he's got this card. It's like, don't mess with me. Anything happens to me, you're going down too. So I think it's a safety mechanism. I think it's so powerful. It's just my thoughts. I think there's something there that they all know that if he opens it, if that gets let out, a lot of people are going down, going to make history. That's why I think he's not saying anything. That's just my take. But kind of makes sense. But again, it's just my take. You decide. I want to get back to Bill Gates just for a couple of minutes because it's been so strong. And I'm very glad that so many people, thank you for agreeing. I'm very glad that so many people know what a piece of shit Bill Gates is. but he's so rich. He's got his hands in so many things. It's like, it's hard to get rid of him, so to speak. But all good things will come to an end if we all stand together and stay loud. This is, anybody heard of Rob Schneider? He was a comedian, did movies. He talked about Bill Gates a little bit too, which I'm really glad. Lots of people talk about Bill Gates. This is what's so crazy. So many people out loud talk about Bill Gates, yet this nerdy piece of shit, who's one of the wealthiest people on the planet, is untouchable. And I just think that he is touchable if we stay strong. Because when you finally say enough is enough and you get enough people, I think we can make change. But we can't just say, well, all you're doing is talking about it and nothing's happening. It's like, had I not talked about it, I would not realize the millions of people that commented about that in agreement. Here's Rob Schneider talking about the obvious that we all know, but how important it is to keep it going. All right, here you go.
And then we have another crazy billionaire, Bill Gates, says there's too many of us. His thing by 2030 is to depopulate the planet. And I just wondered, like, are we part of the population that he wants to There's too many of us. And he says it. And people go, it's a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy theory. He said it. Bill Gates, you go and see on YouTube. He says one of the goals by 2030 is to lower the population of the planet. And one of the ways to do that is using vaccines. It's like, what? And people go, no, that's a conspiracy theory. So he said it. You can go see. He said, yeah, but it's a conspiracy theory to think, he meant what he said. He meant it. He's doing it. And it's working.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
How ballsy is that when you can just say it out loud? He makes it sound like it's a positive, but it's a negative. In other words, if we do a good job in healthcare, what he's saying is if we put enough stuff in healthcare to where you think you're doing something for your healthcare, it's going to be the exact opposite. But his wording, if we do a good job with healthcare, in other words, if we poison you through healthcare, it's all going to work. And it is. Makes total sense. But saying it out loud, and people in the crowd are like, how does that not affect them? Like, are you in a certain cubicle, that where it's not going to happen to you? Do you not breathe the same air that we all breathe in this world? Says it out loud. That's balls for a nerd. Stand strong. Stay loud. If we keep on screaming loud enough, and again, I told people, I tell you again, people say, well, what can we do? I still say, send a letter to the White House. It'll take 15 minutes of your time. Do not write a book. Just say, dear Mr. President, we the people know that Bill Gates is killing the whole world. This stuff needs to stop. That's it. Please. We the people know, and we don't like it. Please put an end to this. Thank you. Write the president. Now you say, well, what's that going to do? You know what a pile of 50,000 letters looks like? It's a pretty big pile. Now, if 50,000 letters went to the White House, somebody's going to notice. And they're all about Bill Gates. Now, there's 380 million people in the United States. I'm only talking about 50,000 people. What if more people wrote a letter? It would take 15 minutes of your time. It would cost you 75 cents for the stamp. Just to send it and go, okay, what the hell? as opposed to writing me back saying, you're all talking, what are you going to do about it? What can I do about it? The man flat out says to your face, we're going to depopulate the population through healthcare, medicines, foods. In other words, he's going to poison us. Some will live, some won't. That's strong. You know the orange man knows. You know he knows. But I say, a lot of people go, what's he doing going to dinner at the White House? Bill Gates has his hands in so many different things other than food and air and medicine. He owns a huge airline that's shuffling the immigrants. They're contracting an airline that Bill Gates owns a big piece of that they're using to fly the illegal immigrants out of here. I mean, there's so many things. You know, he's got a service that he's providing, and if you need the service, they're using it. But he's a piece of shit. And I know that Trump knows that. But again, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I don't believe that Trump, is an idiot. He's pretty wise and cunning. He's been in business a long time. And he knows how to keep secrets. He doesn't go running his mouth. So just because he's not telling you what he's doing, doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. But at the same time, you got to give Bill Clinton. He's getting old and gnarly too. I just saw something on him. He doesn't sound like I think he's losing his mental stability. But Bill Gates did go to the White House and have dinner, and he did apologize at the dinner. So I want to play that so that way you'll know that Bill Gates said he's sorry. He's really sorry. And so I thought you should hear this and see it. So here you go.
Well, I just wanted to apologize for every single fucking version of Windows that sucked, which is basically all of them. Also, sorry for creating viruses just so I could profit from selling you the antivirus software. And on that note, sorry for spreading real viruses by profiting from vaccines and shit. Also, sorry for sterilizing so many of you. There's just too many of us, and some of you are not nice. That's why I'm trying to block out the sun. Anyway, I just came here to ask for a pardon from all the Epstein shit. Thank you.
A sincere apology. Okay, maybe it wasn't. But it was entertaining. I'm loving some of this AI stuff. I mean, the president's trolling Joaquin Jeffries now and Schumer with the Mexican hat, and they're all in an uproar. I think it's funny as shit. Is it professional? I mean, let's face it, times have changed. Times have changed. But he makes a valid point. It's like they're all lying through their teeth because nothing matters to them except their jobs. That's all that matters. If the country shuts down, all those senators and congressmen, they still get paid. They still get paid. The military and everything else, maybe not. But right now, as it was brought to my attention, they just shut down today, but everybody got paid for the beginning of the month. So they have several weeks. And I'm telling you, Trump's playing hardball and he knows what he's doing. And this will all work out because they're not asking for anything more than a continuation of what they just had over the past few months. Not any more or any less. It's the Democrats that are saying, no way, unless you give us more money. And Trump's saying, we're not getting any more money. We are going to start conserving. We're not spending like we used to spend. And then they start crying the blues and start making you all scared and fear-mongering. It's going to affect your health care, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, let me know when it does because I can almost promise you, I can just about promise you that you will not be telling me that they cut your Medicare because they're not going to. Unless you're an illegal immigrant. And you heard all the older Democrats saying how they felt the same way. They should cut them out too. Well, now they don't want to do that because, they need them. Lastly, real quick, I don't know if anybody's paying attention what's going on in Australia, England, but their countries are getting overrun by immigrants. And not only are they being overrun by immigrants and Islam and all that kind of stuff, they're wanting to change the way the countries live. And, you know, it's like here in America, let's say that we let all these Muslims in, which they're trying. And they say, we're no longer going to be American. You're going to be Islamic. We want you to be Islam. And that's what they're doing in England. And on top of that, the government is just completely copping out. They want everybody to collapse. And now they're demanding this digital ID. Everybody's got to get a digital ID. And you might say, well, okay, so what? A digital ID. It's like a driver's license, right? I'm not sure. Here's RFK talking about digital ID and the damage, like how they're slowly taking away more and more of our rights and privileges, and how it's going to be a catastrophe if people just bend over and take it and lie down. It's going to be the beginning of the end. So pay attention to this, because it could be coming to a country like ours if we let it.
What we're seeing today is what I call turnkey totalitarianism. They are putting in place all of these technological mechanisms for control we've never seen before. It's been the ambition of every totalitarian state from the beginning of mankind to control every aspect of behavior, of conduct, of thought, and to obliterate dissent. None of them have been able to do it. They didn't have the technological capacity. Today, the mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can hide. Within 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low-orbit satellites. Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply. Every right that you have is transformed into a privilege contingent upon your obedience to arbitrary government dictates. It will make you a slave. And what do we do about this? What do? We resist. I'm going to tell you 3 rules that you all need to know and memorize. Number 1, every power that government takes from us, it will never relinquish voluntarily. Number 2, every power they take from us, they will ultimately abuse to the maximum extent possible. Number 3, nobody in history of the planet has ever complied their way out of totalitarian control. Every capitulation is a signal to the oppressors to impose new forms of torment or torture or compliance or obedience. Every time you comply, you get weaker. Bullies cannot be appeased. It just encourages them to new forms of torture and torment. Every time you say yes, you're getting pushed back to a weaker position. That's why we need to resist today.
I think that's enough and you get the point. Did you notice Bill Gates' name was in that too? He's got satellites in the air. They're going to be able to look at every square inch of the planet. They're shooting for 2030. In 5 more years, they want everything under their control. And if we just say, okay, it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad. And you give in, and then they start telling you what you can and cannot do. Let me break it down a little bit. Let's say you're driving in your car and you get a flat tire and you need to call a tow truck, but you're going to have to pay for it. Okay, if you're not doing good, you get that digital ID. It takes everything of yours. It takes your phones, your credit cards, your banking, your everything, just everything, and puts it under one roof. And you're probably saying, okay, so what's so big deal about that? Because right now, as it is, you could have cash, you could have several different credit cards, you have different, you have a cell phone service, you have this, you have that. You have all these different ways of doing things. And if one thing doesn't work, you have a possibility of doing something a different way. When it's all under one, this is not just like a driver's license. This is an electronic method of communication and control. They can give it to you and they can take it away. So you want to pay for your car is broken down. Well, you did something wrong and they cut off your bank account. They stopped it. It's almost like turn it on, turn it off. I can do that on my credit cards. If you're not using certain credit cards, I tend to just go online, go to the app, turn it off so it can't be used or stolen or anything. If I need it, I just go on real quick and turn it on if I'm using something different. You can't use your bank account. It's like, okay, well, I'll use, let me make a phone call. Oh, your phone's not working because they cut that off too. You don't think this stuff can happen. It's like, you go to your house and your electricity's not working. You don't think this is possible. This is going to be possible if we let them. Total control. It's basically communism. Do good, do as we say, you get to breathe. Upset the system, we're going to start taking away things that are yours, and you won't have no choice, even though they're yours. You don't think this is going to happen, and this is only 5 years away. That's their goal. Now, they've tried things in the past, but if we stand up, again, you do not conform. Communication. They can't stand that there's somebody like me telling people, whoever's willing to listen anywhere on the planet, and believe me, I've even had, right now, looking at the podcasts, Russia, China, India, all these, far out of the way places are really starting to pay attention. By the way, I forgot to load that. We made number 39 of the informative news or something like that on one of the podcasts for the month. Out of 100, top 100, 39 or 36, something like that. I just saw it yesterday and I forgot. What is it? Doesn't matter. The thing is, I guess my point is communication. There are people that are listening and sharing. That's how important it is, because if you're oblivious, we're doomed. They don't want us communicating. So they take away your communication. If they shut you out and you're just confined to your house, your neighborhood, you have no transportation, especially if you drive electric cars, or you can't buy gas, you can't communicate. Right now, the biggest weapon against them is communication. That's where the censorship comes in that I'm bitching about. They don't want you knowing the truth when I talk about certain things. Communication's really important, people, okay? So communicate. Please share this stuff if you think it's worth a damn. Subscribe and follow. Let's keep the strength in numbers. I'm loving what you guys are doing. It's really picked up a lot. I mean, although I know that there's people watching, you've made the effort to actually push the little like or follow button or subscribe, and I appreciate that. I don't do this to inform me. I already know this stuff. I'm hoping that it's something you're going, wow, that's certainly a different perspective. It kind of makes sense. And then there's going to be some that no matter how much I talk, won't matter. I'm still, Peter's a fucking idiot, and that's the way it goes. But more importantly, for your own health and sake, stop crying about the sky falling every time the news is telling you some dreaded thing. It's all bullshit. Stop getting on Facebook and talking about how we're all going to lose our Medicare and Social Securities and all this crap. It hasn't happened, and until it does happen, shut the fuck up. Save yourself. You know what you're doing to your own body when you're doing this? For no reason. For no reason. I'm going, well, Peter, you're doing it. I'm doing it for a reason. For you. For you. I love you. And I appreciate everybody who pays attention. Wednesday, next week, October 8th, I want you to get ready to celebrate her 3rd year of being sober. Miss Poppy Long is going to be on the show. She was on 2 years ago celebrating her 1st year of sobriety because she about died from drinking. and she told her story, and we're just kind of following up because she claims that her life is even better now 3 years down the road than it was 1 year down the road. And I think it's very relatable. I think it's very relatable. That's next week, October 8th. She's going to be on here, and she's easy on the eyes too. And you look at her and you go, this woman, really an alcoholic? It's like, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from. There's no line in the sand when it comes to drugs and alcohol and addiction and things like that. And we talk about it here. I love talking about this current stuff because it's so important in our lives, but so is these issues of addiction and things like that too. I like talking about everything. That's why it's called Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. It's simple. Simple. See what we got here? Al, great show, Peter. You're on stuff that other shows don't talk about. I think a lot of people do talk about it. Your shit because a smart guy with common sense and a great work ethic. Well, I don't know about the smart part, but the common sense, yes, and the work ethic, it's like, if I don't do it, who the hell's going to? Believe me, it drives me nuts. I'm tired. I'm tired. But it's so worth it when you know people are paying attention. It's so worth it. And I love you for it. And again, please pay attention, share, subscribe, like. I can't say it anymore. And I'll see you next week. But lastly, as always, I need you guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and everybody's upset, and the sky is falling, and people are at each other's throats because of the separation that they're really doing on purpose. Deep breath. All right, everybody, take a deep breath before you speak. Really, please be kind. A lot of people are going through a lot of stuff. They're struggling. That's why I'm so concerned. And then it doesn't make it any easier with the more shit that gets thrown at everybody. So be kind. You don't know what the person sitting next to you is going through. Even though they may be lashing out, just let them speak and then try to understand. Some people are better off than others. And I'm telling you, I know many wealthy people that are miserable as hell. It's not about how much money you have. It really isn't. It's about inner peace and understanding. It really is. I've been learning this the hard way, like we all do, I think. Some people, it comes natural. I'm jealous. It's not easy. And sometimes you got to go through the shit you got to go through to get to where you're going, sadly. But if you're here and you're listening, you're blessed. You got to be here for another day. A lot of people don't have that choice. So be kind. You don't have to take a lot of shit from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Okay? Life is short. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully. Please share. And let me know what you think in the comments, things like that. There'll be clips during the week. Share this show. Share every show. And again, you can't love or hate me if you don't know I exist. And YouTube gives me a hard time. So please subscribe over there too. And again, I can't say it more how important sharing is. And I hope you take some of this knowledge or these clips and information that I'm bringing you. I hope you take it to heart. Again, you don't have to believe it. Just keep it in the back of your head. It may come in handy. As always, my name is Peter G. Thank you for watching Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I do love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show.